Hello and welcome to this awesome highlight from Crystal Core Radio episode 15. If you guys enjoyed this highlight and you want to catch the entire podcast, the top link in the description will be for you, so you can go check the rest of this Final Fantasy Ultimate tier list. And then we're like, what's going on with Final Fantasy? Where is Final Fantasy? This all comes to a head with 14, like original 1.0. Like it was.
We're not ranking that though, right?
Well, we can't. It's included. It's as all of 14. 1.0.
Oh, it's all of 14.
Yeah, all of 14. Like 14. Like I'm not going to do it because it's your board, but it's like 14 does this. Like as it continues on, it starts off as an F and then goes up from there. But anyway, board is yours. I don't think I have any changes I want to make to 13.2.
Okay. Yeah. No. It's low. It's low. Well, if with my experiences with 14.
Okay. Yeah,
so
talk to me about that.
I played it originally.
Mm-hmm. Did your brother ever play it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were both day one players.
1.0?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And I hated it. I was expecting something like 11, and you already know how biased I am.
Yeah.
I think people are coming in and they're curious at what we picked because they haven't heard our conversations, but the way you like a game is shaped by so many things. I hated 14. It didn't hit any of my expectations. And then I came back and went all the way through to like Stormblood.
Yeah.
And like one of the best Final Fantasy stories of all time.
Yeah.
Of all time. And even though the MMO doesn't hit all the notes I want an MMO to,
yeah.
it is amazing for what it is and the world that it's in.
Yeah.
Like I love how they steal all these bosses from these different universes and make them really fun and have awesome mechanics. The PvE is so fun in that game. So honestly, I'd be willing to give 14. So if you're saying the entire development drags it, then I'd give it an A.
Okay.
But if you're saying like where is it right now, I honestly think it's one of the best MMOs story-wise of all time. And I would give it an S for that.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Like if we're rating it as a Final Fantasy game, it's easily an S.
Correct.
If we're rating it as an MMO, it's a C at best. Like from that perspective. And I've said this hands down to a lot of people, and people get confused by 14 because if you're coming from 11 and you're thinking MMORPG first, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be like, wait, like where's the customization? Where's the danger in the world? Where's the reliance on each other? It's not there. The MMO exists in 14 once you've finished the single player game. And I think that as an adult, there's a better balance there with that, right? Like you can sit down, you can buy the expansion. Have you played Shadowbringers yet?
Not yet, but 14 is so much more accessible than 11. It's not close.
Accessible,
like you said, you love a game where you can feel like you did something in an hour. That is Final Fantasy 14.
Yes.
And I actually really like the crafting system.
The crafting system for me, like I've got all my crafts up. There is no reason to be a crafter, and that's one of the things why I rate 14 as a C from an MMO perspective is because there is not that need. Like you're not going and like you don't have somebody who's like I'm gonna go run the raids, I'm gonna get that drop, and then I'm gonna go either sell it on the market for money, and or I'm gonna give it to a friend and he's gonna turn it in to the raid gear that I need, right? And it's that there's no real, like, it's not really fully supported. Like it ends up shifting, and that's why you hear
Crafters should make the best gear in the game.
Always, hands down. And I agree with that because I think that from a marketing perspective, like an economy perspective, you have that reliance. Meaning, if I just want to get on a craft and build my store and become the world's best crafter, but the story doesn't lend itself to that because you are the warrior light. They need you to go and defeat these bosses because that is going to be how the story progresses as opposed to it being a MMO world.
So I said I'd put it at an A, but I have to go S. But I said the story is an S.
Mm-hmm.
And you said as an MMO, it's a C.
Yeah.
We're good S for 14?
Well, I mean, it's like if we're just rating it, like if this is the Final Fantasy tier list, like if we were going to sit here and say like this is the MMO tier list, I would go further down.
I think it's done amazing things for Final Fantasy. I think it's an S.
I think, and also because, and this is where it comes down into kind of our previous rankings with 13 and 13.2, 13.3. Even 14 1.0 and even 15. A lot of people are like, oh, 15, and then it's like, oh, that's where they're kind of like even down on 16. I've seen people like, oh, 16, I didn't like 15. It's like, no, you don't get it. Like Yoshi P came in and changed the culture and really kind of brought in a lot of improvements to the development cycle. And 14 has benefited from that. Yep. He has been working on 16 since 2016. He's already been got 4 years on it, and they've already shown off gameplay. This is a first for Final Fantasy to show off their trailer and actually include gameplay. If 16 doesn't make 2021, it's early 2022 as a release. Like, I think it's that close. We're not waiting a decade for this game and having an expectation that they've done all this. Like, he's focused. They're telling a story. It's also the team behind Heaven's Word. So it's like, yes, the A team is working on 16. So I think 14 also is a way, it was important that it failed, because that helped Square Enix kind of go, wait, what are we doing? And while 15 couldn't immediately benefit from the changes that Yoshi P has brought in and Square Enix has made since 14's 1.0, 16 being a fresh start, like, hey, here's the team, here we go. I think that 14 deserves credit for actually I think in a degree where Final Fantasy 1 saved Square Enix, 14 did as well.
Yeah, it's so funny you say that, because it almost killed them.
Yeah.
But then, it got a whole new life.
Exactly.
And I remember my friend convincing me to come back because of all the changes, and I was very glad that I did. You should,
if you get an opportunity, I really would I'd love to hear your thoughts on Shadowbringers.
Okay.
Because
I should hop back in, man. Dust off the old Ninja.
Dust it off, dude. I just got my relic on Ninja, by the way.
Ooh.
Yeah. Did that today on stream.
Did it take as long as 11 for the relics?
No.
I was in Dynamis for 12 years.
12 years. Oh, finally got it. But it's, that's where the gear, like when we look at it, like I was talking about this on chat, and we'll move into the finishing this thing off, but gear that it doesn't have perks, there's no real long-term investment in gear. And so because there's no real long-term investment, they make it easier to get, but then it's just as easily expires. So it's like getting a relic in 5.0 only helps me out briefly in 6.0. There's not like oh my gosh,
okay.
And that's a disappointment from the MMO score. Like at some point, like maybe we should, we'll get together, do an MMO tier list. I know. Are you playing any current MMO right now? I know you're playing Star Wars.
Yeah, I've been playing Star Wars, but I've been playing less and less.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to jump into some of these games again. I kind of want to just run, just because of the chat right now.
Yeah.
Kind of want to run through 10.2 again. I kind of want to run through 8 again. And I definitely am going to run through 6 again.
Yeah, I think you owe it to yourself to also play through Shadowbringers if you've played through the 2.0, 3.0.
Dude, someone in the chat, who is it? Torterra says Shadowbringers by itself is a god tier expansion.
It is from a story. Like it's
right.
It falls.
So I'm down. I'm definitely down to come back to. You know what? I'll do it, dude. I'll download 14 after this.
Yes, we got him back. That's my ninja whole approach to me, like, let's get Chris back in this game. I just want to hear your thoughts on it. Like it's just kind of like it's always really like. Everybody, what you need to do though, if you get the ability, you should stream it, clip your reactions, and just toss them up, because reactions to the Shadowbringers story are people really want to know, because there are these amazing moments.
Dude, you know how personal I take my games, guys. One of the reasons I don't like streaming Final Fantasy games is because they're very emotional to me. I don't want you guys to watch me cry when Sephiroth comes down, brings down the hammer. Okay, I don't want to be seen as that vulnerable playing some of my favorite games.
I don't know if you've like I said, how Dragon Quest was my entry point. I played Dragon Quest 11, and my wife walks in. I'm not streaming it, and she looks at me. She's like, I hope you're streaming. I go, no, I'm just enjoying it. I was bawling, I was just weeping, because there's these moments, and they hit me differently. So 11 hit me as a dad, right in the gut. And it hurt. It was just, and Julia was like, I really, this is a real moment. She actually is like, oh, are you streaming? I was like, no, I'm just enjoying this. And I was kind of glad, because it's I don't know how many people want to see me ugly cry.
That's you, and that's yours. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we did 14. What, I think board's yours, right?
No, that was me.
It's me? Okay. All right. This is going to be fun. I'm going to go with 3. I hope that you really enjoyed that highlight, and I hope that you check out the full podcast. Again, link is in the description. Thanks for being here, and I hope you have a fantastic day, you wonderful, beautiful individual.